Gaurav, would now request you to share an overview of the Code for GovTech program.
Thank you, Gayatri, and happy to be here. Let me just start by sharing why Code for GovTech or why C4GT in the first instance. All governments operate at population scale, given the size of population, and therefore technology is almost an imperative. If you look at our own country, given the fact that most of our states are larger than most countries in the world in terms of size, and given the stage of development we are as a nation, how well we do on GovTech, how well we do on governance technology will almost determine how well we do as a nation in the coming years and decades. Luckily for us, in the last decade, we have done outstandingly well when it comes to technology and governance. It's all started off with Aadhaar, eKYC, UPI, FASTag, CoWIN. Today we are talking about Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission. We're talking about National Digital Education Architecture and so on. So we've done really, really well over the last decade as a nation. But this is not a one-time journey. It's something that will have to continue for the years and decades to come for us to really realize our true potential as a country. Now it boils down to the talent pool that will need to be there to continue this journey and even expand this journey in the years and decades to come. We have a large pool of engineering talent available in the country, but so far the sensitization, exposure, and experience of that talent to the GovTech space has been fairly limited. And it was this that some of us in the ecosystem were grappling with when we came up with the whole idea of a platform like Code for GovTech or C4GT. What is C4GT? It's an opportunity for the engineering talent in the country today to be able to get very hands-on experience, hands-on exposure, hands-on experience with the open source digital public goods or with the GovTech space in the country. How does it really work? So there are, over the last few years, there's a community of practitioners and organizations that have emerged who are working on open source DPGs or digital public goods. So a lot of those practitioners, as part of Code for GovTech every year, would select specific projects that engineering students can contribute towards by actual hands-on coding, and they'll give these projects as potential Code for GovTech projects. And then the applications get opened up to the engineering students who apply for these projects, share how they will kind of contribute to these. And based on this application, these practitioners, or whom we call mentors, they'll select specific contributors or engineering students who will be working on these projects during their summer vacations. And during this period, the contributors, the engineering students, get very close hands-on mentoring from these mentors, from these practitioners, and in the process, we'll kind of provide and try and make sure that they get exposure to GovTech leaders in the country. So this entire exercise for about let's say 2 to 3 months every year, the idea would be to provide very real exposure and experience to the engineering students towards the GovTech space. So that's how this works year on year. This year is the inaugural edition of Code for GovTech. And as I said, and as the slide reads, let me share some specific features of it. So it's an annual summer coding program for engineering students. It will happen every year. It will be organized during the summer vacations in the colleges. And it's for now focused on engineering students. As we go in the subsequent years, we may expand the scope of it, but right now it's focused on engineering students. Second, it's a very hands-on experience when you're really contributing to an open source digital public good. It's not a dummy project. It's not a theoretical construct. It's a real active digital public good that an engineering student or a contributor will be contributing towards. It's a very hands-on mentoring. So during the duration of the contribution, which is 45 days for this year, would be 60 days in the coming years, the contributors get very hands-on support from the mentors who are themselves practitioners in the GovTech space. We also organize different forums during this period when this interaction with GovTech leaders in the ecosystem that's happening. And all of this, while they're making these contributions, they get a competitive stipend and also an opportunity for pre-placement interviews in these organizations in the ecosystem who are working on GovTech. So those are some of the salient features of C4GT. In terms of who all are part of it in the year one. So there are 4 mentoring organizations from where mentors or practitioners have given DPG or digital public good projects for C4GT in this year. So this is Xstep, TKD, Samagra, and Sanketika Consulting. All of these are organizations which are actively working on open source digital public goods, and practitioners for these organizations, whom we are calling mentors, they would be participating in this year's C4GT. Then in terms of platform partner, we have with us GitHub. So all the code that's written as part of C4GT would be hosted on GitHub. That's the platform partner. And we also have a couple of outreach partners which have really helped us reach out to the engineering community. This is CodeChef and Unstop. The entire effort this year is supported by Umedia Network India, and is the whole exercise is organized by Samagra Transforming Governance. So that's the partner ecosystem for the first year of C4GT, and in the years to come, it will only expand to include larger and larger number of mentoring organizations, mentoring partners, and others. Let me now run you through a brief timeline of C4GT this year. So we kicked off. C4GT was announced on the 17th of May. C4GT 2022 was announced on 17th May. It was on 20th of May that we opened up for applications for registrations by engineering students. Before that, all the projects had been identified. Applications closed on 10th of June. We had around 20 days during which potential contributors could apply for different DPG projects. And then on 16th of June is when the final cohort of contributors was selected and their mapping to different projects was announced. So now we have, as we do this inaugural event, the final set of contributors, the first year cohort for C4GT. And today we are doing this inauguration event. This will be followed up by a midpoint showcase that will happen around the 10th of July, where whatever coding and whatever development has happened, contribution has happened by then, would be showcased to another set of practitioners from the GovTech ecosystem. And then the grand finale, once everything is done, all contributions are complete, would happen around the 6th of August. So between now and the 6th of August, there will be roughly a 45-day period when different contributors will be actively coding and contributing to different digital public goods. We move on from here. So that's the timelines that we have for the inaugural year of Code for GovTech. If we can move on, yeah. So let me also wanted to share some statistics from this year. So we have received 346 applications from 57 colleges from across the country. And out of these 346, once they were screened, there are 92 good quality applications with all the things that were expected as part of them. So we've gotten a good number of applications in a short period this year. And this all cuts across different mentors projects. So we have finally selected 13 contributors this year for Code for GovTech. Out of the 92 applications that were accepted, 13 contributors have been identified. They'll be working on 9 digital public good open source DPG projects with support from 7 mentors from the different mentoring organizations. So that is how the statistics look for this year. It's what we are calling it. It's the inaugural year. It's in the tech language. It's a beta year, and from here we look forward to building on top of this in the years to come.